Latinoamérica, tienes que tomar conciencia. Latinoamérica, se muere el pueblo de hambre, tú con los brazos cruzados, muy triste y alucinado, tienes que pensar en algo. Latinoamérica, tienes que tomar conciencia. Latinoamérica, yo sé lo que está pasando, te quieren canalizar y hasta están metodizando tu manera de pensar. Oye, conciencia. Latinoamérica, tienes que tomar conciencia. Latinoamérica, la 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 desde México al Perú, del Perú hasta la Argentina, ver a la América unida, como lo soñó Bolívar. Unifícate, que la unión es tu signo. Unifícate, que no quedan más caminos que el amor. Oye, óyeme.
Here we go. So
Check,
welcome.
check. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's working. Welcome everyone to, I think this is episode number 5 of Justiciero Musical. We're here today with Emerson, aka Hidden Memory. How's it
Hello.
going, Emerson?
Hello, thank you for inviting me. I'm very excited to be here in your show
Of course,
for the first time.
we came a little bit in the Latin American time.
Yeah, it's okay.
Literally, we just arrived and put on this vinyl.
Yeah.
As usual, I like to start the show with a track from Latin America, and this time I picked an artist from Venezuela as well. His name is El Sigui Guillermo Sanchez, and this track is from 1972.
Yeah, it's
The
good
crazy,
to know.
yeah, the crazy. You didn't know
I
about
didn't
this
know
guy.
him. I didn't know him.
I also didn't know about him. Shout out to my roommate
Oh, that's
because
so
he got
cool.
this vinyl recently.
I think that's very exciting about music. You sometimes you don't know even from your own country.
That's true. Especially Latin America is quite rich with just music in general, right?
Yeah.
An interesting fact about this EP, it was recorded in 30 hours.
Wow.
Like it has like 10 tracks, and they recorded this EP in 30 hours in total.
Amazing.
Which I think is quite impressive. It's quite political as well as a lot of music. I mean, most music is in Latin political, especially in Latin America. So yeah, that's the cover. I don't know if you can actually see, but here you go. El Sigui, and the record is called Buenos Días, Juventud. So yeah, how was your train trip?
It was
All
good.
smooth?
Yeah, it was good. I was lucky that they were there. Sometimes you have delays, but I didn't have any. So yeah, because I live in Amsterdam, so it's about 2 hours and a half.
Yeah.
But it was okay. It was okay. And yeah, thank you again for having me.
No problem. Thank you for being here.
Would be here in Groningen.
Last time you were here, you said you went to Simplon.
Yes, I think that was one of my last times. I have a very good friend from Bristol, Addison Groove. He's a producer from Bristol. He was playing here. And I also used to have one of my cousins. She's from Aruba, and she used to live here and study here.
Yeah.
So I visited her here. I think that was the last time.
She's still living here?
She used to live here and study, and she took me to the open market, to the Venezuelan food truck. I was like, wow,
damn,
we are also in Groningen. That's awesome.
Las Sabrosas.
Yes.
That's funny. Actually, they closed the food truck, but now they have restaurants.
Yeah. I think you told me.
They stepped it up.
Yeah, I hope tomorrow I can have a chance to get an empanada or something.
Yeah, we should go and get some for sure.
Let's see.
So yeah, the whole show, or the whole purpose of the show is to showcase the Latin American music and diaspora. Of course, we're in Europe, Groningen, so in this case we try to push the Latin American artists, and in this case I'm really honored to have Emerson in the studio. He's a person that has quite some experience in the industry, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The first half an hour to 40 minutes will be like a short interview where I will ask you more or less, how did you end up here all the way from Venezuela?
Yeah.
And then for the last hour 15 to hour and a half, Hidden Memory will play a DJ set. I'm not really sure what you're gonna play, but I know I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I think I will play the music I like, a little bit of I've been into music since 25 years as a DJ. Well, we start first. I started at the beginning of the year 2000. I'm 46 years old, so I started at my 19 years old.
19.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it was you're from Caracas, correct?
I'm from Caracas, Venezuela. Yes, I was born and raised there. So I was interested in music since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So music was always part of my life. My dad, he used to have a big collection of music. Like most in Latin America, we had the influence from American music or European music, and also Latin American music.
Yeah.
So in my home, I remember I used to have a Pink Floyd records or Hector Lavoe records or Venezuelan music record like Oscar de Leon.
Yeah.
Or in the 80s, we had a lot of pop music made in Venezuela.
Okay.
It was like a golden time for Venezuelan industry.
In the 80s?
In the 80s.
Okay.
So, for example, there is a artist I remember called Colina. He was our kind of Boy George, Caracas style. So
Colina? I don't think I heard any of
it. So he studied in the UK.
Okay.
And also he was influenced by all this electronic, like new wave music. So it was a kind of similar, but in Spanish. It was very good.
Yeah.
But that's only an example of the different kind of music we used to have. We still have, but I'm just remembering all the kind of music I used to have at home for my dad, and so that was my first encounter with music.
But that was more like not really electronic per se, is it?
No, it was more like a diverse. So normally, in Latin America, Venezuela is very Caribbean influence, so it's normal to have salsa, merengue. And also at the moment in the 80s, Venezuela was also very influenced by American music, like from pop music, from Michael Jackson, Madonna.
Just like Mexico.
Yeah, so if you listen to the radio at the moment, you could listen Aha, and then, I don't know, salsa, merengue.
I think till this day it's kind of like that.
So it's all mixed. So that's very interesting because you grew up with all this kind of different music, and it's not like crazy when you become an artist to mix all this together in a way. Yeah. Because it's part of you anyway.
So how is it that then you got in touch with the electronic music scene? Like, how old were you when you were like,
but I remember the first time I heard Technotronic, I was 11 years old.
11.
So it was very big already worldwide, and it was sounding on the radio already, like Palm of the Jam and all those stuff. And I remember it was so popular that I remember I went to the supermarket with my mom, and there was like a vinyl section on the supermarket, and you
On the supermarket, like when you buy your groceries.
Yes, in the
Really?
supermarket. Yes, we
Okay.
had vinyl section, and there was you could. For example, I remember I bought Sinead O'Connor,
Okay.
the biggest hit, that record, and I remember also Pump of the Jam.
You bought that?
I bought it. Yeah, I still have it in my room in Caracas.
Really?
So I was very into this kind of. I didn't know what it was. I
Yeah.
just like it. I was like, oh, pump. I didn't know the lyrics. I didn't know how English.
You didn't even know what he was saying, but you
No,
liked the groove.
I just like the groove.
Yeah.
And also, it was very popular at the moment. The minitecas also. I was
Also in
just a
Venezuela.
kid.
Yeah.
I was just a kid, but it was very popular even for the middle class.
That's
So
crazy because that's more like South American. Because
Yes.
in Mexico we didn't really have minitecas.
Yeah, in the 80s and early 90s, it was very popular in the whole society. So.
But maybe give a bit of like context what miniteca is for people.
Miniteca is like a sound system.
Yeah.
With a DJ, of course. And in this case, minitecas they were part of the. It was like a popular thing that it started to grow in the whole country. So if you had a party and you have some money, the best party, if your parents can afford it, is okay. I will rent a miniteca for you.
That's great.
So you could have all the music, all the best music at the moment.
With a live DJ.
Yes, with a DJ and all in vinyl at the moment.
Oh,
so so basically, but I mean, it was very popular, but there were also like special events with minitecas. So we had like the Guerra de Minitecas or War of Minitecas, and then you had like several brands and names, and who was the best of the minitecas. So they basically used to what's the best sound, what's the best music, who's the best DJ,
Man, that could
and
be
it was
quite
very,
enriching
but I was
experience.
just a kid, so I didn't know very well about this genre. So I just liked the music, but that was just like a small moment when I was a kid. Then I just totally forget about that, and I went into rock music.
Yeah.
When I was a teenager.
Also, you're
yes,
a bass player, right? Like
I'm a bass player.
That's your instrument.
And I was really into the grunge music at the moment. I was 12, 13 years old when the first time I saw, because there was a moment when MTV was very popular.
Yeah, when they used to play music.
Yes, when MTV was good.
Yeah.
We also have MTV Latin America.
Yeah.
So in my home, we had in my mom and dad television, they had one cable. It was for them. And I remember to stay very late on the night just watching videos, like from Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. So I grew up listening to this kind of music, and it was really, really important to me.
And how do you think that, like, influenced then on your? Did it influence at all in your electronic music side?
Yeah, I think maybe without knowing. For example, I was also very fan of Soda Stereo from Argentina, and I remember one of my favorite albums is Dynamo. It's from 1992. Well, I remember when I saw the booklet. I remember they described the devices they were using, and they called something called sampler and something called synthesizer. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were already using electronic music in this. I just knew that I liked the sounds.
Yeah.
But I was just 12 or 13 years old. That was a 1992 album.
Okay.
So I was 13.
Yeah, okay.
So I didn't know anything. So that was with time. I think that was one of my first real interest in electronic, but without knowing.
Yeah. So you were
really
like,
weird.
you got in more into like, rock, and then you were playing like more the bass.
Yeah.
And then when was the first time that you were like, oh, maybe I will try
so it
electronic?
I think it was something, I think it was like casual, because I remember also in MTV there was like a special program called Ozone, and it was specialized on electronic music. So I remember sometimes I watch videos from Aphex Twin, from The Prodigy, Chemical Brothers, Underworld, Goose Goose, this kind of Bjork. And I say, okay, this is electronic music, but I didn't know that there were genres, that there were like a movement, like a specific movements happening. Until a little bit later, when I started to go more in depth, when I started to study sound engineering when I was 18 years.
Okay, and then you started sound engineering, and you were like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try to more like the electronic side.
So it wasn't like that. It was like
that was in the late 90s when you were 18?
That was in the mid 90s.
Mid 90s.
So I graduated from high school in 1995.
Yeah.
and then I just spent 1 year just studying another career I didn't finish. It was I didn't know what to do. I was just 70 years old. And then I met a neighbor. I met this person. He was listening to Depeche Mode, and I thought that I was the only person listening this kind of music in my building.
Yeah.
So once I met him in the stairs, I talked to him like, "Hey, you were listening to Depeche Mode and Nine Inch Nails the other day." He said, "Yes." "Oh, really? Oh, then you are my friend." And then he told me that he was studying sound engineering just close to my home. I didn't know.
So okay.
So this was one of the most important institutes of sound engineering in the whole country, and it was just like some blocks from my home. I didn't know. So this guy was met to be my introducer to this sound engineer world. I didn't know what it was, so he just showed me like the curriculum of the career, and I convinced my parents I need to study this. This is a call from the universe. I don't know. And then in that institute, I met one of my best friends. He's called Alejo. He lives in Boston.
Okay.
And he used to have a big collection of the music, you name it. Dub music. The first time I heard dub was from him.
And
Scientist, I remember. It was
mad scientist?
The scientist, scientist from it was a pupil of Lee Scratch Perry and also King Tubby. So scientist was one of the first pioneers in dub music. I knew what it was reggae, but I didn't know what it was dub.
Yeah.
So we were studying in sound engineering, and when Alejo played scientist,
Alejo also was studying sound engineering.
So
that's where you met.
We met in the school, in the sound engineering school, and he introduced me to a lot of music like dub, for example. That blew my mind, like, hey, what is this? It's like reggae, but it's different. And he said, yeah, imagine a sound engineering being creative in an album. So this is the creative process of sound engineering intervening in music. I was, what? You can do that? And he said, of course, yeah. So it was like, oh my God, like, he opened me like new doors for me.
Because also back then this is the way you learn about new things, right? Because it's just word to word. Basically, you meet someone. It's not like you were on Instagram scrolling and then you see like,
it was because of him. Yeah.
You started getting to know things because through other people.
And he was also he's still very passionate about music. So, for example, he had a big collection of jungle and drum and bass, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, I heard it like you could. I was already listening like Everything But the Girl, Walking Wounded. They had a lot of influence from drum and bass. I didn't know that was drum and bass.
With this aim on breaks.
Yeah,
and all this.
I remember David Bowie doing like kind of jungle at the moment. With Little Wonder, I remember that video. That was also aim and break. But I didn't know that was jungle.
Yeah.
I didn't know, for example, when Björk, she released this remixes album from, I think it was named Telegram. You had like some Photech remixes, but I was this is a weird sound, but I didn't know that was drum and bass. So Alejo told me, this is jungle and drum and bass, so that's a genre from the UK. And then and then I start to figure, this is subgenres, there are subgenres, there are different kind of sounds, and then I start to identify.
Yeah.
And after that, he introduced me to a friend. He arrived from New York, and he opened one of the first DJ-oriented stores in Caracas.
Okay.
That it was called Caracas Electrónica.
Like pioneering.
Yeah, and he offered me a job there.
And this was in the late 90s.
That was in 1999.
I'm trying to keep track of the timeline.
Yeah.
Because also somewhere there is where you started with this.
Yes, correct. It was synchronous. So I finished the sound engineering in 1999. And then in the 2000, this friend, he opened this
Caracas
Electrónica. And to put a context why this happened, because in Venezuela at the moment there was a lot of electronic music happening in the underground scene. So one of the first raves, it was in 1998. It was called Total Eclipse. I was there. I was 18 years old. Total Eclipse. It was 7 years of a rave in the Caribbean.
7 days.
7 days. So
7 years is quite a lot.
7 days is a lot.
Yeah.
I was 18 years old. I was with my best friends from the school.
18 you don't feel 7 days. It's okay.
Yeah, and we went there for 6 days. And
but what type of music was it that they
mostly,
were playing there?
So it was very, very special because most of the people were from Germany and Japan, Croatia.
Quite European then.
a lot of Europeans
like Asian as well.
and weirdos like me and other people interested in the rave movement, right? It was, so the sounds were more like ambient and a lot of psychedelic trance and Goa trance and a lot of experimental. But the main was psychedelic trance and Goa.
That's quite hard for 7 days.
Yes. So, well...
But did you know this genre before you go? You got to know it there?
Never. I knew about the techno and stuff, but not really...
Go and sites.
So, at that rave, a lot of people were there.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. That a lot of people that was involved in that party, with time, we became part of the movement because that was like a seed. You know, this is something. This is... something interesting about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was like an organic thing because people that were interested in techno, they start to do their thing. The people from house, they start to do their thing. And I was more into with my friend Alejo, I started to listen to drum and bass.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, there were some kids doing small drum and bass parties. This crew was called Simple Crew.
Yeah. Simple, with a 3 at the end.
Yeah, with a 3 at the end. So this was in the 2000s.
Yeah, and then but you will say this is kind of like the beginnings of the electronic music.
Yes, like the real scene, like
in Caracas,
club oriented. It was in Caracas in the early 2000s.
Okay, how was it to be part of, like, how you see everything just being born and just what is it like?
It was weird because I started to be like a part of a crowd, and suddenly I was starting to DJ in
for
the clubs for people. And
in general, just
so it was a very very interesting thing because I was working with my friend in this store, and I was just a DJ in my bedroom DJ. I was mixing in my living room.
That's how you start,
right? On my mom's table. She was very angry with me, like, "Hey, please, can you don't damage the table?" You know, like I had my turntables and stuff. I started with vinyls, with old SL 1200 Technics, and a very old mixer. You know, just practicing. Like I was like the fever of DJing. You know, like
this is when you were like around 19, 20 or so.
I was like 19 or something. And then, of course, I was working in the DJ store, so I had a lot of vinyls. Mostly all of my salary was just for vinyls.
Yeah.
And I had the chance to have the catalog. So basically, the owner, he said, "Okay, you import drum and bass, you select."
You were selecting the drum and bass coming into Caracas.
He was selecting house and techno and stuff, and the drum and bass I was selecting. I knew what it was the best sellers, like was more the jump up and the tech step, like Russian Optical, Bad Company, Aphrodite, all this kind of stuff. And I used to just choose music for me, like from Ronnie Side, Full Cycle. I remember LTJ Bookham. I was very into the whole spectrum of drum and bass, Raga Jungle, a lot of Congonati. I still have a lot of vinyls in my
they're still back home in Venezuela.
So
that's worth a lot of money, eh?
Yeah, I have a lot of classics. A lot of classics. So basically, this friend of mine from the store, he had a friend, and they were doing a very big party. It was like a DJ contest.
Okay.
It was sponsored by Lucky Strike, so it was a very big party.
Like in Caracas.
In Caracas, it was called DJ Open, something like that. It was like a competition for 4 genres: house, techno, hip hop, and drum and bass.
Okay.
So from drum and bass, there was this guy I knew because he was part of the underground scene since some years. He's called Wiz, and he was part of Simple Crew. So I went to some parties from them. It was very small at the moment, like 50, 100 people. And I was very nervous because it was a very big party. And he invited me. He convinced to the owners of the party, like, okay, this guy is very good. I think he's prepared to play with the crowd. I was, okay.
Was it your first time playing for a crowd?
That was my first time. And it was very big. Because it was thousands of people.
Yeah.
You have like 3 stages. Like, my name was rolling under me, beside me, with the big screens, a lot of lights. I was a little bit in panic.
And you're like, I was just playing in my bedroom. How did I end up here? And
yes, very weird. And then after I play, and Wiz play, I remember he just went to me and he said, "Hey, Emerson, I really like what you play. We're going to have our first anniversary in the next month.
For Simple.
For Simple crew. So that
Yeah.
was the party of drum and bass, the
Yeah.
only one.
First year anniversary as well.
And then he invited me to the first anniversary, and he invited me, and then I was part of the crew,
Damn.
just like that.
But that's crazy, right?
It's
I mean,
crazy. It
that's
was
why-
like the music just connect. That's why it happened to me every time. And in fact, he lives in Barcelona. I saw him just.
He lives in Barcelona. Okay. Nice.
I remember him.
Yeah.
We had some drinks, and I remember him. Do you remember that story? You invited me to. I was just a beginner, and you invited me to your party.
Yeah.
And I will never forget that.
Yeah.
So after that, my DJ career started.
Damn. So
Yeah.
that's actually quite a, I would say, quick start in a way, because you're like just out of nowhere, just playing in your
Yeah.
bedroom, and all of a sudden, with guys,
I
they're
think
like quite a legend in the scene already.
I think it was like maybe 1 year.
And even then, because there was like no social media, right? So it's actually
No, it was just you could go to some. There was a mall, like a mall, a small
like a
mall,
shopping mall.
a shopping mall, and then there was some like a cool stores where you can have like a raver clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you could find all the flyers of all the underground scene. Like
Oh, that's
drum
how
and
you will
bass
find
tech,
out about
yes.
parties.
And
Yeah.
also there used to be like a young magazine. It was called
Yeah.
Urbe.
Urbe. Okay.
That's also for my generation. And they normally talk about the youth in
Mhm.
Venezuela.
Yeah, okay.
They talk about all the taboos like sex, tattoos, drugs,
Music.
music, everything. So it was like a generation. It
What was the
like
name of it?
Urbe.
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 Okay.
So
Interesting.
that was part of my generation. So you also could know about for example, rock concerts or electronic music club or whatever in Urbe.
Okay.
So or you went to Urbe to see what's going on the next weekend, or you could go to these shopping malls and look for the flyers, and that's it.
That's sick, because I feel like nowadays we're so bombarded with like social media posts. Like you don't even like. There's so much like you get lost in the sauce in
Yes,
a way, you know. Like
yes.
and I think there's way more quantity, and
Yes,
that
true.
will be critical, and less quality. To be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
So I think how cool would it be if we could do that nowadays? But I guess
Yeah.
that's not possible. Of
I
course,
think-
we
yeah,
need
I
to move
think-
with what is going on.
Yeah, now we are in the digital era, so
Yeah, you seem a bit like melancholic thinking about it. 'cause
I am, yes.
I can see it in your eyes. You're like,
I'm like, wow.
yeah, it's changed a lot,
Yeah.
right?
So after that, so parallel to that, thanks for the DJing thing, I met a friend of mine. He's Alexis, his name, and he was starting a project. The project that after it was called Babylon Motorhome.
I was about to ask you about that, because you also, but that was more like multidisciplinary
Yes.
arts, right? Not
So
just
it was
music.
it was parallel to my DJ career.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it was thanks to my DJ career that I met Alexis. So
Yeah.
I remember I was chilling outside the club, and I met this guy. He gave me a flyer of a rave,
Yeah.
and he said, "We're going. Hey, how are you? My name is Alexis. I invited you to the party. There will be a rave this weekend, and we are going to be in charge of the chill out.
Chill room. What
Yeah,
they
chill
used
out,
to
the chill out
exist.
room.
Yeah.
And I
Nice.
say, okay, that's cool. And I say, can I join you? Because I'm a drum and bass DJ, but I also have like ambient, IDM, I have dub. Maybe I can join you. And he said, yeah, why not?
Damn.
Sure. You know, it was like, okay.
It's just like from one place to
Yes,
another.
and then when I remember he picked me up at his car, and we arrived to this place, and then I met all these creative people that
Wow.
I didn't know where they were, but we were in the same place at the same time in that moment, and it was very magical.
This is still in Caracas.
That was still in Caracas.
Okay.
That was in 2001
Okay.
or 2001.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they had this small project called Babylon Motorhome. It was
Yeah.
just Alexis and Daniel.
Mhm.
And then I was doing some scratch and doing some jamming with them.
Mhm.
And it was so awesome that we saw each other like, what is going on? This is not real. Like, it sounds so good. And then after that, the project started to evolve.
So from they already had the project, and you kind of joined the project, and then it just like worked together like
so
a
they
synergy.
started like a very basic setup. It
Yeah.
was like Daniel, he had a MPC 2000
Mhm.
and an Access Virus, and they used to sample old vinyls like I don't know, from bossa nova to jazz
Yeah. Okay.
to
'Cause it was a chill
weird
room.
sounds. And Alexis was a saxophonist and also clarinet player.
Mm.
So he used to connect the clarinet to a DJ mixer with effects So basically, it was like a kind of weird, like a downbeat, chill out live music from the sampler, and I was doing scratch on top.
Man, I wish I could experience this thing.
It
We
was
should
very
do this
weird.
still. Like, is it still possible to? We can still pull something like this
Yeah,
nowadays,
well,
right?
And yeah,
Do you
so
have, do you
that
have
was-
vinyls in Amsterdam?
Yeah, I still have, yes.
Yeah, we can see what we can do.
Yeah,
then.
we can do some jammings.
Yeah. Let's
But
see
that
what.
was,
Okay.
but that was so magical,
Yeah.
and it was like, okay, this is something. We need to do something about it. But they didn't know that I was a musician.
Okay.
So I was just doing scratches, but I say, yeah, I can also play bass and I can also play keyboards because I studied organ since I was 7 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was a surprise. So Alexis, he used to be a partner of another guys. They had a studio.
Mm-hmm.
And in this studio, it was an old studio for an old musician in Caracas. So there was a lot of rooms in this studio. And I remember once we were just exploring the house and we found a big black box. It was like a kind of coffin. You know what it was?
Sitar?
It was a Fender Rhodes.
A Fender Rhodes.
A 73.
No.
It was just abandoned there. It was an electric piano.
But it was just, who was it?
It
Like,
was from
whose
the-
house was this again?
So they were renting this house.
They were renting a house, okay. I see.
And they have in this studio.
Yeah.
And the house was owned by this old musician from the 70s and 80s. But he still has these old instruments just there in a room.
It's crazy.
And I said to Alexis, this is a piano. What is this? Fender. It says Fender. I didn't know what it was, a Fender Rhodes.
Yeah.
And then when we check, oh, this is a classic electric piano from the 70s. This is like a wow. And then we took it to the studio. And then we started to play with it.
Yeah.
And then we convinced I remember one of the sons of the owner of the place.
Yeah.
We convinced him to buy the piano, so we bought it. So it was ours.
Amazing.
Because we started to play with it live.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
basically the sound of Babylon Motorhome started to evolve because...
But you were doing like visual arts and also music.
So it started as a music project.
Yeah.
So as I told you, it started with Daniel and Alexis, and I was coming from the drum bass scene. I was also listening dub and reggae, and they were also listening a lot of Ninja Tune. At the moment, Cold Cut. Alexis was more from the jazz and bossa nova school, and Daniel was listening like a lot of Ninja Tune. I remember one of our best influence was Ninja Tune. And also then Claudio came. He's one of the best drummers in Venezuela right now. He was from the older generation. He came from
Claudio.
the rock scene.
He came to join your Babylon
Yes,
Motorhomes.
because he was playing. He was recording some drums for another guys in the studio for a reggae band. So basically, in that studio, a lot of things happened. So Daniel had an idea like, okay, we need some drums, so we need to sample. So I will ask Claudio if he wants to sample with us, so we can have real drums. And then he was so good that we say, maybe you can play with us. And he said, yes, this is amazing. This is a project, weird project.
Do you
Amazing.
have anything from then that you can play?
Yes, I
us?
brought one track. That was.
Let's finish the story and then maybe you can show us it because like
Babylon Motorhome, yes, is one of the biggest and most special projects I ever have in my life.
I guess it's now not going on anymore.
Yeah. We started in 2001, and I left Venezuela in 2008, and they still play until 2010.
Yeah.
And then Daniel, he moved to Australia.
Okay.
And then everybody started to go outside because of the Venezuelan situation. I was the first one. In 2008, I left. But yeah, for example, we were one of the first Venezuelans to be invited to Sonar Festival in 2002.
Yeah, you're taking all my questions, but I like it because I don't even have to ask. You're just telling me what I want to hear.
This happened very
How
weird
was
moment.
that? Because weren't you like one of the first Venezuelan artists to be performing at this festival?
So
I don't know if the first ones, but one of the first ones.
I think we were one of the first ones.
But you were invited as Babylon Motorhome.
Yes. So the thing was that we were already playing a lot in Caracas.
Mm-hmm.
We were like we were doing a very avant-garde movement in Venezuela, like because it was like a mix of mutant music. We didn't have any genres. We just jam a lot. We used to have a lot of instruments, and also we had a couple of friends that were designers.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it was very organic to have our own VJs.
Okay.
So it was not very common to have visuals at the moment for a live band.
Okay.
So we were one of the first in Venezuela to do it.
Also pioneering on that way.
Yes. So basically, Babylon Motorhome started to be more an audiovisual collective. It started to evolve in that, and then because I was also playing with Simple, and Simple was becoming very popular in the city.
Yeah, this was going on parallel, Simple,
in parallel,
Babylon.
Yes. And I did like the link because I was playing with Simple and I also was part of Babylon Motorhome.
Okay.
And organically we start to make stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a couple of parties very famous. One it was called Palante. It means
Palante.
go forward.
Yeah.
And it was Babylon Motorhome and Simple. It was amazing because
so it was Palante is a collaboration between both
Simple and
collectives.
Babylon Motorhome, and
Okay.
that was the first collaborations. And basically, what happened after that we were invited to Sonar Festival, and we went with Simple crew.
Okay.
So it was Babylon Motorhome and Simple, and we were called. It was a showcase, and we were called. We were a little bit ironic about that. We were called Escuadrón Sudaca. That was our name.
Escuadrón Sudaca. Yeah, because I guess there was not many at the time.
Yeah, it was like a statement, like we are from South America, and in fact in that year there were just 3 artists from South America: us,
Okay.
A guy from Argentina, and Murkov from Mexico.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
So it was definitely a statement.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
we're
like,
here,
okay,
we're
we are
making
here,
noise.
and we're coming from far away, and we have our own voice.
Yeah. Okay.
It was very interesting. Yeah.
I don't know if you have it ready, but I would love to hear something.
So what I'm going to play from Babylon Motorhome is it was a years after we already were very tight in our sound, and there was a project, very interesting project from a producer in Caracas. He used to have a very famous radio show. It was called Scratch. David Rondon was one of the producers, and Ivan Losher, one of the most famous DJs in the radio in Venezuela.
Okay.
And they were very interested in the electronic music.
Okay.
And they really support the local scene. And they did this project, very beautiful project, to blend the Simon Diaz music. Simon Diaz is one of our most famous folklorical musician ever in history. So basically, he's considered one of the best folklore music in Venezuela, musicians in Venezuela. And this project was called Simon Diaz Remixes.
Simon Diaz Remix.
So this was released in 2006, and you can see there was Cardo Pusher, KP9000, KP 9000 is another project from France. They were making drum and bass, hip hop, and stuff. Babylon Motorhome, Jimmy Flamante, were a lot of Venezuelan artists. And I will play what we did for Simon Diaz. I will check.
You can also find it there, I think.
So
and you're hyping me up now. I'm really curious what you're gonna play.
So let me
because
check.
To be honest, when I was trying to do research on you as an artist, I guess because it was before the digital era in a way.
Yes.
It was quite hard to find this information.
Yes.
Like everything that you're saying now is something that you cannot not find online.
No. So I was discussing this kind of stuff with some friends from the same time. And we were saying, we need to find a way of documenting all this because it's just like me or friends that they were part of the movement in that we are witness of this, but there are no documents or like all compiled in one or a book or something. So
well, this is a beginning of.
I think it could be a very interesting project to do.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying is something that is actually could be inspiring for the new
because
generations.
I'm just explaining what had happened to me, but of course I need more time to explain what was happening in the whole city because because in Caracas it was also very collaborative. So I used to collaborate with everybody. Like I used to play with other bands and other projects. There was not just simple, but then after drum and bass was very big, also in Maracaibo they started a collective called Breaking System. There was also some friends in Caracas called the Crew, as another crew of drum and bass.
Yeah, but there is
it was very big.
There is nothing registered on this online.
No.
I think you should definitely try to look into that project because this is like
it's
even inspired me now.
And it's just drum and bass. You had the techno movement of friends of mine, big festivals, like 2,000 people. They used to book DJs from the UK. So it was in the all that era of 2000, the first decade of 2000, it was very big in Venezuela.
Okay. Well, let's hear it.
I will play which?
I think it's on channel
3.
I mean channel Yeah, I think it's on channel 2.
Check.
Yeah, you will see it.
No lloro mi amor, es la agonía de esta separación y no resisto el espacio y la distancia de tu corazón. De tenerte en mis brazos, saber que te me vayas, no quiero ni pensarlo, me duele la distancia, tus pechos separados y esta angustia, por dentro de tus ojos, de todos tus antojos, y no poder mirarte, y esta angustia, por dentro de tus ojos, y de todos tus antojos. Y no tener tu amor. De tenerte en mis brazos y no poder mirarte y no tener tu amor.
Interesante.
So that was Babylon Motorhome. It was a remix for Simon Diaz, and the song was called Angustia. What I was talking to Adrian, we record I was playing the bass and the drums were recorded in 2 inches in analog machine. So
and one go.
We were a little bit.
What happens if you had a mistake?
You
cannot cut and delete with the keyboard.
You need to play very good. So,
that's what you did.
So really, I'm a musician as well. So that was part of my. I'm not also DJ, but also musician since I was a kid. And bass was one of my favorite instruments. It started to be one of my favorite instruments. And in Babylon Motorhome, I was able to develop that discipline.
Yeah. We do have a lot of. You have. I think I could interview you for like 5 hours because at this rate
there is a lot of information.
Because we still need to talk. You also were part of Pacifica.
Yes.
Was this like also parallel to all these other projects that you were doing?
So it was in the mid 2000s. I was already playing drum and bass. I was with Babylon Motorhome like full, and the thing is that Claudio, the drummer from Babylon Motorhome, he was also part of the rock scene.
Okay.
So he's one of the legendary drummers in Venezuela of rock music. So once Pacifica, I need to explain a little bit. Pacifica started in the late 90s. So it was a side project of one of the most prolific musicians and producers of rock music in Venezuela. He was also one of the founders of one of the biggest rock bands in Venezuela called Zapato Tres.
Okay.
So his name was Diego Marquez. And Diego Marquez was one of the biggest producers and musician composers in rock in Venezuela.
Okay.
He produced Caramelos de Cianuro, Pixel. So he was nominated to Grammys and stuff. But Pacifica was one of his personal projects. It was his band. And I remember when I was just finishing my sound engineering, I already knew Pacifica because it was sounding on the radio. You could see sometimes in MTV the videos of Pacifica.
Okay.
With one of the hits they had, it was called Sutil Sonido, was awesome.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Claudio was a partner of Diego in a studio, of a recording studio. Claudio, as I say, he is part of this rock scene since the late 80s. So, for example, he opened for Soda Stereo in Caracas for 10,000 people or 8,000 people with his ex-band, Espías. So when Claudio said to me, hey, you know that Pacifica, Diego wants to relaunch Pacifica, and we need a bass player. But I think you can do it because you told me that you were into the rock music. So what we're going to do is we're going to have an audition for us. I was so nervous because I knew who was Diego Marquez.
Yeah.
And I knew that I needed to be very, very good. So I was very nervous. I said, well, really? Okay. This is next level because Diego Marquez, very respected. So the thing is, it was very organic. So basically what I like about that audition was that they say, okay, you will take the old tracks from Pacifica. They had already 2 albums at the moment. And they say, you will try to listen to it and take that music and make it yours. So you don't need to play exactly as the old bass player used to play. So be yourself, just play the music, and let's see how it goes the next time. We can give you, I don't know, 1 month or whatever, when you're ready. So in 2 weeks, I was ready.
Damn.
So I say to them, like, I'm ready. And I did it, and it was awesome. I mean,
that's funny because it kind of it resembles a little bit of what you said with the drum and bass gig, that, you know, you're just practicing. Yes. Well, here, of course, you had more experience playing bass, right?
Yes,
but what I mean is, like, you were ready for the moment. You're like, okay, let's just do it.
Claudio, he gave me the opportunity to participate in this project. I was so enthusiastic because the rock music was also very important for me.
Yeah. That's how basically you started
when I
with
was
music.
A teenager,
yeah.
I used to go to concerts of the underground scene in Caracas. I can name just a few, like La Muy Bestia Pop, one of the industrial rock bands.
La Muy Bestia Pop.
La Muy Bestia Pop is incredible. Okay. From my friend Chofa, Edward Marshall, Wiz. Well,
do you have anything from Pacifica?
I have from Pacifica.
Would you like to share
Pacifica? I will show a track. It's a very special track because we recorded this when I was part of Pacifica. This the third official the third official album from Pacifica called Punto 22, That 22. And this song, it was composed by by 2 people that they are not here in this world anymore. The guitarist of Sentimiento Muerto, Callallo, one of the biggest guitarists in our rock history, and also Cangrejo, one of the first rockers in Venezuela. His band was called. He was one of the first punk rockers in Caracas. OGs from the 80s. He had a band called Seguridad Nacional. And they together they composed this song Rap Can, and we did like a version of it. And I was so enthusiastic to do this because I was also a very big fan of Seguridad Nacional and also from Sentimiento Muerto in Callallo. So for me, it was like a weird connection with them, you know, in a way. So I will play.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let me check. So this is Pacifica, and the track it is called Rap Can, and it's rock music. So let me check. I'm looking for the track.
I think at this point we might as well go the 2 hours with the interview and listening to these tracks related to the questions. We'll see how it goes. Course, yes. We'll see. We'll just flow in right now. Yeah. I think to hear these stories from one of the persons that was involved in the industry directly.
Thank you. Well, this is Pacifica. This was released in 2007. We also made a video that was routing on MTV for some time.
Rap Can.
And it's called Rap Can.
En las noches de mis nieblas entre brumas suelo navegar angustias y en la guitarra naufragar. Suena como lluvia secando en el misterio, como el sueño de vivir. Beberé y con ello mi temor vendrá a bailar vestido entre llantos, entonando un suspirar y melodías en la vía endulzando en su vaivén la razón sin razón del amor, necesitado de amor. Intentando encontrar paz, he pretendido olvidar que soy alma espiritual. He prometido, he rogado, suplicado por no volverte a ver.
Bueno, that was Pacifica, Rapcan. It was one of my bands. I was playing the bass. Well, I already told the story about Pacifica.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of a very important project in my life as well.
And then you were part of this project for like 8-9 years?
It was in the mid 2000s, so it was like I was part of this project like 5 years.
But you were doing all these things
all
parallel.
Together, yes,
You're
it was
crazy.
I don't know how I did it. I remember.
So you were like doing music and arts full time.
Yeah, full time.
Yeah,
yes.
really.
I was DJing every weekend,
yeah.
And not only in Caracas, but sometimes I was invited to Maracaibo, to the biggest cities, Barquisimeto.
Okay.
Also, I was playing with Babylon Motorhome sometimes outside the city. With Pacifica, we also did a lot of gigs.
Okay.
In small venues and also in other cities.
Yeah. So then, before we move on to your time in Chile, because after this in 2008 you moved to Chile, I will actually.
Oh yeah. So first I moved to Barcelona.
Oh, first, yeah, sorry.
So, yeah.
Barcelona was from 2008 to 2010.
2008 to 2010.
Okay.
That was the moment, yeah.
Before we go there, I would like to rewind a little bit,
yes,
because you talk so much about drum and bass and dub, and
yes,
and you didn't show us any track from this time, and I really would love to hear a track from.
So at the moment, I will play a song that I really like from 2001.
Okay.
One of my favorite labels is Metalheads. That's the label from DJ Goldie, the legend of drum and bass. When the first time I heard this drum and bass particular, it is from a producer that sadly he passed away in 2017. He's called Marcus Intalex. So basically, the sound of Marcus Intalex, he was mixing a little bit of the more like a techno sounds with drum and bass.
Okay.
Very minimal.
Yeah.
So he was one of the first producers in drum and bass to have this kind of sound.
Okay.
And in drum and bass, I was really interested in of course, the beat, but because it was very fast, but also in the avant-garde of the sounds, on the sound design, because drum and bass is a very hard genre to produce. It's not like techno. I'm not saying that techno is easy, but it needs like a different approach, because you have the techno is 4x4, but the drum bass I think is more complex to make. Yeah. And when you are a producer, I was studying sound engineering. I was very interested in how the sound design was in the drum and bass. So because you have this groove, but you also have all these sounds and layers and all the science behind the bass. And when you hear Marcus Intalex, you can hear like very few layers, but it's so groovy and so clubby that it's like, and also very deep, because he used to use a lot of pads, but in a way that is not atmospheric, but is also very dancey. I will play this song from 2001. I still have it in vinyl original. But this I will play in digital because I don't have the vinyl right here. But I will play this one of my favorite tracks. And I remember every time I play it, the dance floor was crazy. Like
you knew it was one of those that when you play it, it's gonna bring the crowd.
Yeah. So
okay, like
what I like, I used to play like a diverse kind of drum and bass. There are drum and bass DJs that they really like to push like the more darkest sound, and always. Until now, I used to play with dynamics. So I used to play like atmospheric, dark, jumpy, raga, like different kind of moods. So the dancer could, take a breath a little bit and then go deep.
Okay.
So I will play a track from Marcus Intalex that is called Universe. And it was released on Metalheads. This is a label from DJ Goldie.
I'm happy we're coming back to this drum and bass, because now the way you sold me this track, I'm really curious what's going to be like.
And it's very funny because last year I went to see DJ Storm. She's also a legend for Metalheads. She played in the Garage Noir in Amsterdam, and she played this track.
Really?
And I remember I know this track because I used to play it. And I remember I had a young person at my side. I was so excited because I was dancing like crazy. And I said to the guy, "Do you know this track is 24 years old?" He said, "No way." I said, "Yeah, it's very old, but it still sounds fresh."
Yeah, okay, it's one of those that like never gets old, basically.
Yes.
Timeless track.
Yes. Okay, I will play. This is Marcus Intalex, Universe from Metalheads.
dance with me? Can you feel it?
What a song. Qué rolón.
Thank you. Yes, one of my favorites. Still one of my favorites. I think it still works in the dance floor.
I can see that. It's one of those timeless tracks, for
Marcus
sure.
Intalec's genius. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in power.
Rest in power. Yes, yes.
Okay, so I think that's a good interlude to now move on towards we will try to squeeze in the last part of your
course.
musical career in these 20 minutes, because I would
Yeah.
like to hear at least half an hour set from you. We'll
Sure.
see how that flows. But then, yeah, so after 2008, you moved to Barcelona,
Yes.
and that where you were part of Abstract Records?
Well,
am I correct?
the thing is that
or
I moved, a little bit before I moved to Barcelona, I was already playing drum and bass for some years, like for 7 or 8 years. And then in 2006, 2007, 1 year before going, I was in Maracaibo. I was booked for playing. And one of my friends from there, Julio, the Fuse, he played weird music in the car. It was dubstep.
Weird music.
I never heard
Yeah.
dubstep before, but I listened to it and I was getting crazy about this sound. Like, what is this? It's very similar to jungle, but it's slower. You know, the bass is insane. The MCs are very similar to jungle. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, "This is dubstep." I said, "Wow, I need to play this. This is insane." You know,
Yeah.
I start to feel like the same spark I felt when I discovered drum and bass and jungle. I was okay. I need this, you know, because I didn't feel like I needed to commit to a genre or something.
Mhm.
It's
No,
just
no.
an organic thing to say like, I'm interested in this kind of sound. I will explore this kind, because it's very similar to drum and bass, but slower. And then I started to dig into the dubstep scene. That was 2006, 2007. So it was very fresh.
Mhm.
It was very new at the moment, no? Like labels like Tempa, Digital Mystics, DMC, all these kind of labels, like from, I don't know, Benga, Scream, Mala,
Mhm.
Headhunter. But at that moment, these friends of mine, they were starting to do small parties of dubstep music.
Mhm.
So it was called Whoop This. In this crew, it was Carlo Puccio was part of it, because he was coming from the breakcore,
Mhm.
and then he started to evolve into mutate to dubstep, and then in this moment we start to share the same taste of music.
Yeah.
Because I was interested in dubstep, Carlo Puccio was interested in the dubstep. Fran, it was called before Pacheco. He's also a producer from Caracas, Venezuela.
Mhm.
He lives in Barcelona right now, as
So
well
really
as
good
Carlo
producer.
Puccio. Safety Trans for more people. For now, he has 2 alias. But at the moment, they started a party of dubstep called Whoop This.
Whoop This.
Whoop This. It was
I like
Whoop
the
This
name.
because of the
Yeah.
wobbler.
Yeah.
So, and then I started like, I started to feel this emotion to play new music, like new genres. Oh, this is awesome.
Mhm.
And then it was a little bit before I left Venezuela. So I left in 2008. And when I moved to Barcelona, also Carlo Puccio was thinking to move outside. So we were roommates.
You moved together to
So
Barcelona.
we moved together to Barcelona.
Okay.
And then we were really into dubstep.
Okay.
He's a great producer. I remember when I was living with him, he's very disciplined, and he like showed me this kind of how can you be disciplined and how can you
In produced music, you mean?
be like very disciplined to produce music, because
Okay.
he's involved and he's committed to 100%. That's how he's now where he is now.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a very big artist from Latin America. I'm very proud of him. Also Fran, very big, very good producer from Caracas. So this era was also very important to shape the sounds of what I was looking for. So when I moved to Barcelona, they kept Whoop This, and it evolved in a different collective called Abstractor. So Abstractor started in 2009, 2010. I lived in Barcelona for 2 years. I was studying there, and then, to be honest, I didn't play that much. It was very tough to play in Barcelona at the moment.
What
I
do
don't
you
know
think?
why.
Okay,
It
you
was
don't
a
know.
little bit-
You're not sure.
It was I don't know. It was a very close scene.
Yeah. You think a
so,
bit like gate
yeah.
kept in a way?
There was a party friends were doing in Barcelona. It was made from some Spanish, some guys from Switzerland, some British, and it was called Below. It
Below,
was
yeah.
That was in 2000, between 2008 2010. They did this. There was the dubstep parties in Barcelona. They used to book Mala, Headhunter, Sergeant Pokes, with sound system like a dub sound system, like Jamaican sound system for dub music. So it was really, really cool. but I just played like a couple of times. It was very hard to be involved in the scene.
So your time there was a bit more silent in a way.
Yeah, I was producing dubstep at the moment. I was also very motivated because I was living with Cardo. It was, like a retro, like a feedback between, hey, I'm making a new music. So I was just playing like a lot of music from him, new music from myself, music from Pacheco, Epox, music from my friends, So it was very nice to play exclusive music and also playing music from the UK and stuff. So that made me like a lot of motivation for me. And then at that moment, my visa ended because I was studying. And then I had the opportunity to go very far away again, but in the south of America. So I went to Chile.
Yeah, 2010.
In 2010. That was like a family project to have a business there. And then they convinced me to go to Santiago. And then I moved in 2010.
Yeah. And then what happened between 2010 and 2018? Because then
it was a lot.
Shit.
So
I think we need like 2 more hours.
So basically, I will make it not really long, but basically, because a friend of mine, I was in Caracas for some months before going full to Chile, and this friend of mine introduced me to another friend, and her boyfriend was a DJ in Santiago. He used to do drum and bass parties.
Okay.
In Santiago.
And you were like, drum and bass?
Okay.
I heard that before.
Yes. And I said, okay, that's cool. So I went to Santiago. My friend is Gabi, Maria Gabriela. She's very nice. She's Venezuelan Chilean. And she introduced me to her boyfriend, Diego. Diego invited me to the first party. I said to him, I'm not playing drum and bass anymore. I play dubstep. And I was also getting into the new sounds like UK garage and also UK funky, the sounds from Night Slugs, for example, or Mosca, Rosca, Bok Bok, Elvis 1990. So I was shaping the sound like the UK underground. I really like this kind of music because it was like a more I really into like new sounds always.
Yeah.
In like in the club, I really like to go forward and forward for I feel bored if I play the same stuff for some time. I feel bored, so I really like to push forward.
Yeah, and also your life changes, so you can you go with what you feel in the moment, right?
Yes,
you cannot feel the same throughout your whole life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in that moment, so I said to Diego, I will play what I feel like, what I'm playing right now. He said, you go for it. And then in one of these parties, I met a guy from Santiago, Daniel Clauser. He was having this project. He was thinking because he was playing similar music like me. So we were like, okay, we identify each other. Hey, you're playing similar music like me. Maybe we can do something together. And then he said, yeah, I'm just thinking to have a record label. Yeah. And I said, oh, that's funny because I just came from Barcelona. I studied music marketing. So
let's do it.
I have a plan already in my head. So it was like a synchronicity, with Daniel.
Yeah.
And there was also Matias Rivera, a lot of people, Inti, it was Young Nas, it was a lot of Chilean people. Yeah. So I was the only Venezuelan there, but they were really nice with me. And then we started the first party, I remember, where we planned, okay, we're going to, what was the name of this project? Diamante Records. So Diamante Records, it started in 2011.
Okay.
And I had a contact from my friend Frank from Pacheco.
Yeah.
He gave me this contact from a booking agency. It was called Surefire Agency. And I met this guy, a book agent. He was called Devin. He became my friend. And the first gig, so I booked Addison Groove for the first time in Chile.
In Chile?
So it was the first time.
This was with Diamante Records.
This was with Diamante, the first party. It was in November 2011.
Okay.
It was in a very underground place.
So also pioneering in a different country.
So yeah, so we were doing like a new thing in Santiago. We were trying to show different sounds because in Santiago you had drum and bass, you had techno, house, the classic. But what about the new UK bass? Nothing. So we started to do. So the concept was a little bit okay. We will bring the upfront of the club music, what we like, and then we also want to push the sound of Latin American producers because Daniel was producing music, I was producing music, and there was a lot of Chileans doing a lot of great music. So the idea was to bring people from outside and merge with us. So it was not just to make a party, but to promote the music from ourselves. So a little bit what Trato Track is doing for some years.
Trato Track
from Colombia. So they did it in some like 5 years ago. We started to do this in 2011. Maybe it wasn't the best timing, but the concept was similar, to push forward the Latin American sound.
But that's what we're just saying just now, right? Just because you're Latin American doesn't mean that you're just gonna be playing like cumbia or whatever, like Latin, where you have to put us in a box. We play everything.
So the interesting about Diamante, it was that a lot of nice artists came from this project. So of course we book a lot of DJs like Eyes on Groove, Matching Drum 2 times, Pearson Sound in 2012, Untold, Plastician from the UK, one of the pioneers of dubstep. We also book a DJ Spin from Tech Life for Footwork, and so on. So
damn, you were doing all this in Chile.
We booked all these guys, and it was very nice because we also became friends of most of one of them or most of them, and they also were very excited to be in South America, because it's not very common for them to go to Santiago and we have crowd like 400 people, 300 people.
Yeah, and also playing for people that are passionate, because sometimes as an artist you go play a big gig for 3,000 people, but then I think some artists would just prefer 200 people or 100 people even in the club, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it was very interesting, and then also it was a motivation for local producers. Yeah. For example, from this project, 2 artists after some years they became a little bit known internationally. One is Tomás Urquieta. He's from Viña del Mar. He started in Diamante.
I didn't know he was from Chile. Is he from
Chile? He's from the Viña del Mar.
Okay.
Yeah, he's also a very good friend of mine.
You also have a track with him, don't you? Or like a remix?
I normally play some stuff from him sometimes. In my EP, yes, he made a remix for me.
Yeah, he made a remix for you. Yeah,
he made a remix for me. He's my friend. He started in Diamante. His first track, he released it in Diamante Records.
Tomás
Urquieta from Viña del Mar. He lives now in New York. And he's releasing music in Herren Sauna, in the label from Mode Selector, So it was like I feel like very proud also for them because like Diamante made something. Like we create artists and we made the opportunity for them to show their music. Yes. And this was like a little seed we did, no?
That must be such a nice feeling to see this.
Yes, and also because they are my friends, and it's really nice to see the whole process.
Who was the other one?
And the other one is Imaps.
Okay.
So Imaps Cristobal, he's from Santiago, and he also became part of Diamante Records from the beginning. And the fun part is he moved to Mexico, and then he was involved in NAFI and now in Terminal.
Okay. Terminal is making some moves lately.
So it was very funny because we lost contact for some years, and then when I discovered, because I'm also a friend of DJ Baba from Caracas, and when I discovered that Imaps was mastering Terminal. And he was mastering Nafi.
That's true, actually.
And then and Baba say, hey, it was mastered by Imaps. I say, yeah, Cristobal is a friend of mine since 10 years ago. I said, no way. The music is so strange sometimes that it connects people in some ways that you never expect.
I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of music, right? Especially,
it's beautiful.
But I think that's what we were just saying earlier. Like, I don't know if it's that, because I have not much experience in Europe, but between the Latin American diaspora, it's very common to... Then you see this collaboration, and then you're like, I collaborated with this guy 6 years ago, or I know this guy too. Like,
and when I saw this, it was like I was very proud of course, of Imaps and the work he's doing for mastering of basically all Latin club music. Or I can say to generalize, not it's like every artist is Latin club, but I mean in the Latin American club music, he's one of the most prominent mastering engineers now. Yeah. So and he's also a very good producer. So I think Diamante was a really interesting thing for me.
So he's also Chilean, Imaps.
Yes, he's from Santiago.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
for some reason I thought he was Mexican.
No, he's Chilean.
Okay. Sorry, Imaps.
Made in Santiago.
If you ever see this, sorry.
Bien chileno.
Bien chileno. Sí. No, perdona.
No, it's okay.
But
so these two.
Todos somos latinos al final.
Todos latinos, Latin American. But they're the origin. So it was very interesting to be part of this project. So for personal reasons, I moved to Netherlands with my ex-partner in 2018.
18. Okay, but do we have? Okay, no, yeah, keep going, and then we come back.
And
2018, you moved to
yes.
Netherlands.
So I moved to the Netherlands, and just a little bit before, I started my new project, Hidden Memory.
But did you have an artist name before that, or it was just Emerson?
Well, when I started to DJ, it was because I used to have dreadlocks, very long dreadlocks.
Did you?
And I really like science fiction.
Okay.
Movies.
What
I really
was-
like. So I was called Predator.
I knew you were gonna say
Like Predator, like the movie.
Yeah.
I really like this movie, one of my favorites, and I had dreadlocks. So I say, okay, this is very natural, and I would play music like I was very young. I would play music like extraterrestrial music, but I thought drum and bass, it was so avant-garde, it's so weird.
Yeah.
That I say, okay, this is music from other worlds. So I'm an extraterrestrial. I will play weird music for weird people.
Okay, so where does the
That was the concept.
Hidden Memory comes from? Is
And
it
then
like
Hidden Memory
melan-
started as a project. I was a little bit involved before. I was really interested in the rhythms of the African Venezuelan music from the coast, from the Caribbean coast. In fact, the first music I released, it was in 2006. I was making music with a friend of mine, it's called Edward, and we released the first drum and bass track from Venezuelans in the UK. It was we released it in 2006 in a label called Vibes Recordings in the UK.
the first ones?
The first one.
What was the name of the?
The label is called Vibes
Yeah,
Recordings,
okay.
and the owner is one of the producers from the UK. He's called Subject 13,
And the name of your EP?
and it was a single.
I was a single. Okay.
Called Nago. It was
Nago.
a split single, so we were in one of the sides, and the other side was from Blue Martin. Blue
Okay.
Martin is also a legendary producer from the UK.
Mhm.
So basically, we were releasing music from South America. I mean, from Brazil, it was very common to have DJ Marky, XRS, and Bongo, but from Venezuela, nobody was releasing no drum and bass. We were the first ones.
Pioneer.
So in this track, we had a little bit of influence of Afro-Cuban, Afro-Venezuelan drums.
Okay.
Because we sampled some Afro-Cuban music, and we did a groove with the drum bass. So that was like the first approach to Afro-Venezuelan music. And I think because I was already a lot of years outside Venezuela, I start to appreciate more the music I used to have.
That's
I
how it
think
is,
that's
right?
normal.
Once you move out, it's like we're so rich.
Yes. We are very rich in polyrhythmics, and I started to go deep into it. At the moment, I started Hidden Memory. I started to do it very organically. Like, okay, I will start to research about the Afro-Venezuelan rhythms. But at the beginning, I just could find like music in YouTube. It was very hard to find somebody to play for me. So my first resource was, okay, I will sample whatever I can find in YouTube, and I will try to make it, to make something with it, and to mix it with the music I was listening to in the moment, like a UK bass and stuff. And that was the beginning. I was very lucky that I met this friend in Santiago, also Venezuelan, because in Santiago in 2018 there was a lot of Venezuelans already in Chile because of the diaspora. And then I met this guy, Norman Miranda. He's a professional of Afro-Venezuelan drums. So by chance, I met him in the right moment, because I already had all my EP was done. But when I met him, I said to him, I want you to record for me. So because the Afro-Venezuelan musicians, they are very proud of the culture, and normally they are not very open to other genres. But in this case, Norman was very nice, and he said, okay, just show me everything that is showing our culture. I like. And then I show my music to him, and he said, I like the rhythm. It's very interesting. Let's do it.
Sick.
And then I had a studio from a friend, and basically, I had a studio for myself. But
everything.
That was in Santiago.
Okay, Santiago still.
So my friend Norman, he brought the Cumaco. It's a big drum, like a big log. He brought the real drums.
The real one. Yeah.
So all the drums that you hear in my EP are recorded from myself.
What is the name of your EP?
My EP is called Dark Rhythms.
Oh yeah,
The
it's on
rhythms EP.
SoundCloud too, right?
And yes, and all the tracks are named well, except the second track, are named in tribute to the drums and tribute to the styles of Afro-Venezuelan.
And this is more of like the vibe that you're going with Hidden Memory.
Yeah, so hidden memory basically is a concept about the ancestral rhythms and what is hidden in our. It's not our memory in our minds, but our DNA. So basically, I was thinking, in my
Hidden
DNA,
memory.
I have African blood as well, because we are all mixed.
Mestizos.
So it's hidden in me. So the DNA of that's why I feel connection with the Afro-Venezuelan. Even I'm not Afro, like 100%. I know that in my family we have
we're
African
mestizos,
heritage.
right?
We are mestizos. So in this way, I found this concept to, okay, this is not my DNA. I have this kind of music, and that's why I feel connected to it, because it's part of my heritage as well. Okay. So I say, this is my sound, and this is part of me also. So I was thinking, okay, how can I do this? And then basically I start to experiment, and the result is what you can hear in my first EP.
So
I can play.
Maybe would you like to use the last half an hour to just play a short DJ set?
Yeah, of course. And then I can show a little bit of these sounds.
Yeah, exactly. And just a real commercial break, because we are part of this. Well, I am part of this Carmela collective in Amsterdam, which actually Emerson played for us on our last event. Like one of the best DJ sets I've heard in a long time. Thank you for being there.
Oh, it was my first time playing in Amsterdam, and I was really excited, and I really appreciate it, because it was we
had a Pico sound system.
It was an amazing sound system, and the vibe. Everybody was very friendly, and I was a little bit nervous, because the last time I played was 2 years ago in Madrid.
Yeah.
But this was my first time in my city. So
yeah, this is crazy. Like, this is the type of artist that, in my opinion, should be taking up more space in the scene. But we're going to have another event at the end of February, and it's going to be also a fundraiser for Venezuela.
Yes.
It's still to be confirmed, so I don't know if I should be saying it here, but Carmela Collective, end of February, mark your calendars. And hopefully we can have Hidden Memory back with us. And yeah, I think
I will be happy.
Like, thank you for sharing all these stories. So I could listen to these stories for hours and hours. We could be drinking some mezcal.
Sorry if it was very long, but
after this we go drink mezcal at my place and just talk.
Sounds great. Sounds great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here. And I really would like to just use this last half an hour to hear some of the sounds. Like,
so I will play just some nice music and
go for it. Whatever you want to play. If you want to go old school, if you want to play new wave, whatever you like.
I will play my sounds, and I hope you enjoy it.
I think we will.
Okay. Enjoy.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Cheers. Okay.
Y viva Latinoamérica.
Y viva Latinoamérica, carajo.
A huevo. the house. Thank you, Hidden Memory, for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Such a pleasure. We
For me
had
too.
Justiciero Musical. I don't even know which episode it is, but like we said, we could keep talking the whole 2 hours or the whole 5 hours. But
Yes. Well,
instead,
thank you again.
I'm happy you played half an hour because
Yeah.
you just killed it.
It was needed. It was needed.
This is the last track. 2.5 minutes left.
Yes.
Apparently no one knows this track.
This track is from my friend Daniel, who's in Buenos Aires. Was never released, so this is music from 2006 maybe.
Music that was never released.
Made in Caracas.
Played in
Never was
Groningen.
released, so, yeah. And now playing.
So enjoy the rest of it.
Thank you.